Hey everyone, just wanted to make a quick video in regards to something I give to all my clients. I give this what they call a life hack, something that they can use for themselves in regards to wellness. And I think it's very, very important that healing is great, but at the end of the day, I think it's all about wellness and your lifestyle. Because my mother, who was an oncologist, she always used to say that what good is helping someone with cancer? Then they go back home and then they have the environment that created the cancer in the first place, which then makes them relapse. So she was very, after she would work with them and help them out with cancer, she would basically say, what's your diet? What does your environment look like? What's your stressors at home? Just to make sure that the person doesn't come back. I think that's very, very important. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Emmanuel, an emotion code practitioner out here in Las Vegas. And I just wanted to do a kind of this life hack in public. Usually I have these life hacks in private for clients, but I want to do one in public just to let you guys know kind of when I work with a client and we work with their heart wall or release trapped emotions, I do something that is kind of a life hack right at the end, and I just basically say, let's focus on this, and everything kind of stacks on each other like little life tips that you can use. And so this one's called feeding your heart. And so when I'm working with someone with this heart wall, most of you guys don't know what that is, but below I'll make a video I'll put in the comments section about what is the heart wall. And then this will make a lot more sense if you watch that video afterwards. And so one of the things that you receive from clearing your heart wall, which I cleared mine back in April with my wife in 2016, and we've cleared over about 220 heart walls using the emotion code. And so one of the things that's very important is to stay humble and to be a student even though you've acquired these new things. For example, what are the 5 things you get as someone who's cleared their heart wall? Well, number 1, you'd get more energy, stronger immune system. Number 2, more clarity about your mission. Number 3, you would feel more love from people around you, even from above. Number 4, your love language would actually have more influence on others around you. And number 5, have access to abundance. And so if you have all these things going for you, here's what happens is that you may lose yourself. As the Savior once said, how sad is it to gain the whole world but lose your soul? So I kind of wanted to give you this life hack just for all my friends on Facebook because I think it's a good one. I think it's something that for all the life hacks that I give, which is about 8 of them, this is my favorite one. So I want to give you guys a gift. So the one, how it goes is this is, what are you feeding your heart? So if you have a notepad and pen, hopefully you might appreciate this. But I'm going to give you some notes, some things that I've used for myself, and it's really worked for me. And so the question is what are you feeding your heart? Now, what I believe and what Dr. Bradley Nelson believes is that we all came from a loving creator. I say Father in heaven, but we can say in general, loving creator. And I think there's a beautiful thing that comes to us when we're born. That one thing is this thing called a veil over the mind. And what that is that basically that veil assists us so that we don't really remember us being with the Creator. And so we're really truly being tested here on this earth. Back then we would walk with sight, and now we walk by faith. And number 2 is if we did remember where we came from, perhaps we wouldn't even appreciate what's around us right now because where we came from was way more beautiful, way more pristine than where we are right now. But this is our testing ground, and there's wisdom behind that veil. Here's something where I don't believe we have is I don't believe we have a veil inside over our hearts though. And so when I work with a ton of clients, I notice that perhaps they're wondering either what is my mission in life, or I think this is my mission, but it's only mentally confirmed but not confirmed by the heart. In the scriptures it talks about like before thou art in the womb, I knew thee. So it talks about kind of like the fact that we were kind of raised by eternal parents or heavenly parents or raised by a loving creator. And so the one thing is that I believe that your heart has your mission. And so one of the things that I've thought about is how many of us honestly can say to ourselves that we maybe brought up to the attention to our parents and said, this is what I want to be when I grow up. This is my mission. And like kind of even try to drive through it and make sure it actually happens to impress your parents. Why do we have that in our DNA? Why are we inclined to lean towards that? And I believe that it's because this is the second time we're doing that. The first time, I feel like we were telling our heavenly parents and we were saying, hey, this is what I plan on doing down there on earth. And then we probably got encouragement. We probably got advice. We probably honed in on the talent because we had the right environment to blossom, to have it blossom. It's the only reason why someone like Beethoven can resurrect such great music around age 5, age 10, and with similar to Mozart. They had to be doing something before, honing in on their talent, honing in on their gift that they have. And I believe everyone, if you're watching this video right now, whether you believe in God or not, I'm telling you, you do have a special gift that you were given, and you do have a special mission that you were given. And but like I said, I think clearing the heart wall, which is a procedure done through the emotion code, can assist you to find it, because the emotion code was found through prayer. Actually, it was a frustrated chiropractor by the name of Dr. Bud Nelson, and he was just frustrated, wondering like why these patients keep having the same symptoms, emotional symptoms, physical symptoms, like what is the cause of it all. And through that, he actually learned about the heart wall, which again, you can watch in this video below, what is the heart wall and how it came about. And so all we have to do is uncover those walls, release these walls, these energetic walls that are created by trauma that you've been affected throughout your life. So a broken heart syndrome comes to mind when you think of heart wall layers, is whenever you felt pain in your heart, sadness, felt heaviness, that there's an actual layer that showed up. But the more layers, it kind of sabotaged these 5 different areas, one of them being clarity of mission. And so I think it's very, very important that once you clear your heart wall, that all of a sudden your mission will start coming up. But how do you, if you think about it, your heart is a spiritual thing created by a loving creator. Your mission was a collaboration with the creator, and it's a spiritual thing. So then everything so far is spiritual. But then what do we do as humans is we put earthly things to feed spiritual things. And I think that's one of the biggest plagues on our earth now, is the understatement that I believe that the reason why there's a lot of depression, anxiety, is because we're constantly trying to feed ourselves material things when our heart is hungry for spiritual things. When you don't eat food, you become anorexic. When you don't eat spiritual food, is it possible you can become spiritually anorexic? And so I think it's very, very important that my tip to my clients is to make sure that you set apart some time to spiritually feed yourself on a daily basis, not on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. You have something you do, a specific regimen. I believe there are 2 types of wind in this world. Wind that if we talk to our negative society, because we're technically programmed negative, I think it's very important to understand that most people talk about the winds of adversity, and that's what basically causes them to fall down in life, is the winds of adversity, and the roots aren't deep enough. And I want to talk to you about another wind, and it's called the wind of success. More people are scared of success than failure, and so but what if success starts happening to you? What if you unlock your heart wall and you have more energy, clarity of mission? Your love influence is strong. You can feel more love from people. Your abundance is showing up. What if that happens? Then is it possible your tree can fall down over? And I guarantee you, throughout the world, the history all shows about ego and money, and how there's the drive of a civilization and the fall of it, then the rise again and the fall, is because they started basically practicing the art of humanism and basically centering things around themselves. And so this spiritual thing that I kind of implore or basically try to accentuate to our clients is very worthy of you, because you're about to enter a new zone, a new chess field where there's less limitations, because your heart is going to be out in the open. So it's very, very important that the wind of success can also throw the tree over if the roots aren't deep. How do you get your roots deep? You basically, number one, if you don't have a spiritual regimen, create one. If you do already have one, add an extra 5 or 10 minutes of it. But here's the big thing. What's the big idol worship? What's the major idol worshiping happening now? Back in Moses' time, it had to do with worshiping the sun god, worshiping the water god, worshiping the moon god. Now I believe the modern day idol worshiping has to do with your schedule, what you put in your schedule, and how we don't put our spiritual regimen in our schedule. And if we put it in there, it shows priority. If we don't go to our job, we get fired. But what if we don't do our spiritual regimen? Do we get fired? The answer is no. But did we decline, or did we stand still? And this is the biggest lie in society, is that we stood still, but we didn't. We actually declined. We actually moved back. So if you admire anyone right now, I'm telling you, they have a spiritual regimen. Every single day they do something spiritual. Today mine was from 7 to 7:30. And it's basically locked in my calendar, know thyself. If you haven't scheduled it in your calendar, then you're just playing the idea to spiritually feed yourself. So I always tell my clients, I'm like, this is the time to put something in your calendar that every single day. Now, if you need to move it the next day before, because life happens, schedule happens, then move it, but never neglect it. And so hopefully you appreciate this tip. Hopefully again, you can realize that your cleared heart wall will really manifest the greatest things if you continue to feed your heart spiritual. Because, like I said, the loving Creator made the spiritual heart, made it spiritually first, then physically. Then you also collaborated with your Creator in the mission. So everything so far is spiritual. But what are you feeding yourself spiritually? So hopefully you enjoyed this. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hopefully you learned something today about, am I really taking my spiritual growth seriously? And again, this is one of the 8 life hacks that I give people. And I tell them, I said, in a week, I can challenge you to to show me, to put take a photo of you scheduling that thing, or how do you say, take a screenshot of your phone and show me where you. It could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but you're something that's a regimen of you growing spiritually. That way your roots run really dry into the ground, just get driven down to the ground, and your tree is planted. No matter if winds of adversity come or winds of success show up, you're going to still be the strong tree that stands. And so that's my greatest wish for you. So hopefully you enjoyed this message. Feel free to tag anyone that would really appreciate this message. If you feel like there's something missing in life, it's probably a spiritual regimen. Besides the heart wall and clearing all these trapped emotions, I'm telling you, if you neglect the spiritual, you can become spiritually anorexic, and then it's hard for you to go out there and serve. And how do you acquire happiness? Is service. And I think you can't do true service until you really know thyself. So with that, hopefully you enjoyed that. This is Emmanuel from Las Vegas, and look forward to showing you some more videos. Take care. Bye-bye.